Hello, I'm Leland Hardin, and I want to talk to you about time shifting your education. First, a little about me. I am the COO and Chief Marketing Officer of SpeedyPrep. I'm formerly the Vice President of Advancement at Hardin-Simmons University, and I must say I'm an accomplished edupreneur, an entrepreneur who specializes in transforming education. I have actually authored 5 books, and that's an interesting story in itself, but I'll tell you about that later. I'm here to talk to you today about time shifting. Well, originally time shifting was very much related to television. So you look at the VCR, think about it. I don't know how old you are, but if you're, you know, 40 plus, I would say you remember your first VCR and how you could record your favorite television shows and watch them later. That's what time shifting is all about. Taking something that happens in a certain time frame and putting it to where it's more important and more timely for you personally. Of course, after the VCR came the DVR, the digital video recorder. TiVo is the most recognizable of the digital video recorder. And the internet, of course, then made it even more convenient because you could find things on the internet and watch them at any time. You didn't have to wait on recording it yourself. They were just already out there and archived. Online subscriptions became the next big thing, and we're still kind of in the middle of that. This is where you're looking at Amazon and Hulu and Netflix, who are creating their own shows, and they all have archived video material that you can watch at any time. So online subscriptions are a form of time shifting. Then, of course, smartphones come in, and you can watch anything at any time on your iPhone or your any other kind of phone. So what does that mean for time-shifting education? It means correspondence courses really were the original time-shifting of education. These were mail in and receive a score and mail in again and receive another score, but those were the way that many in the past got some sort of a degree. Maybe it was a secretarial degree. It wasn't by any means a 4-year college degree, but there were ways to get education and track it just through the mail with correspondence courses. Video courses were kind of the next generation of correspondence courses in that they enabled you to watch a video and to record your information, record your answers, send back a comment sheet, and get the next videotape. That ties back in, of course, to the VCR that we recorded earlier on this session. Then distance learning. Distance learning happened over the radio and as well as happening over video and having it sent in to you. Many times you would find that there were classrooms that tied into one central education hub, and those hubs provided all of the instruction kind of in a wagon wheel or a spoke wheel fashion for learning. So that is what kind of distance learning became, and you would all write down your answers. There were standardized tests, kind of proctors at each location that would watch what you were doing and add additional information or help you get your material straight. Now we have online education. Online education, of course, started several years ago, a decade or more ago, with the advent of the internet. And that meant that there were those who saw the light early on. I consider, and this sounds esoteric, but Wayland Baptist University out of Plainview, Texas, was very early on in the online education space. Now you've seen many come on who are for-profit online education companies taking and circumventing traditional educational resources like colleges. And unfortunately, many colleges did not see this early on. Many are jumping on the bandwagon now, and they're utilizing their brand to do that. However, they took a long time to come around, and that is typical of a traditional, entrenched market dominator to not recognize that innovations in the market can supplant them and take over their market. And that is what has happened here in online education. We've seen a number of new startups with for-profit universities. I mean, the most premier being, of course, Phoenix, the University of Phoenix, in that they have taken over and replaced many online education resources or many other traditional colleges, because their opportunity is very effective, very good, and less expensive, and you can get through it in a very timely way. Next is in time-shifting education is testing out of classes. Now this has been around a long time, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But we want to first explore the cost of higher education and why it makes sense to time shift your education and claim it as your own. So as you can see, community colleges are not very expensive. They come in around $32.50 a year. However, the public 4-year are nearly $10,000. If you're out of state, it more than doubles. And I'm feeling that pain right now with my son, but it more than doubles. And then a private is even higher at 33, nearly 34,000. A for-profit is at 16K. So they're kind of in between the public 4-year and the public 4-year out of state. But you can see that it's still not cheap. We're not even factoring in the room and board and all of the additional costs. So let's look at this based on just those first numbers. What does a class cost to take with your courses? So in state, a class costs $966. The per year cost, kind of my calculation here is that on a per year basis, they're factoring in on a cost that you're taking 30 hours. So you divide the 9650 by 30 and get 322 and multiply that per semester to get to the 966. Well, that's an per hour cost is 322, and it's 3 hours per class to come up with 966. So the public out of state comes at nearly 2,500 per class. The private is about 3,300, and the for-profit is nearly 1,600. So you got to compare that with testing out. Why would you pay all of that money? And it doesn't even account for the time it takes. We're talking 3 to 4 months per class. Of course, you can take multiple classes at once, but it's still 3 to 4 months to get a credit. With testing out, you don't have all of that time factor involved. And when it comes to pure dollars, here are the three main, CLEP, College Level Examination Program, and the DSST, which is Dante's, and I'll explain the acronyms later, and ECE is, of course, the Excelsior College by Credit by Examination. And you can see that, all of them generally cost about the same for the test fee and the proctor, and the prep can generally be the same. It's up to you on the prep. but I'm just using this as an average, and it's $165 versus $2,500. I mean, who wouldn't do that? So here it is. What does it save? Well, there's the cost per class on all of these various institutions and types of higher learning. And with that, you can insert a worst case scenario, you are saving 84%. That's if you're taking it for a public in-state, and that's not everybody. Even at your public, your for-profit schools, which are University of Phoenix and Capella and all of those, you can save 90 or more percent by testing out of class. So why would you mess around with anything else? I don't really know why. Here we go. Here are your most common options. The college level examination program, which is CLEP, the Dante's subject standardized test, which is DSST, and the Excelsior credit by examination, which is ECE, and of course, prior learning assessments. I like to throw in testimonials every now and then, so here's one from a SpeedyPrep customer. SpeedyPrep provides online CLEP test preparation. So here it is. Here's a teacher who had to get 5 English CLEP exams and took her first and failed, then used SpeedyPrep, and she's passed all 5 and on the first try, and she swears by SpeedyPrep. You know, of course, I'm a presenter here, and I am an executive and officer with SpeedyPrep, but that is, I hope you understand my prerogative and that I really believe in this, and I want to show you it works. So let's go to the next slide. The CLEP is administered by the College Board. The College Board has been around forever. They are the same folks that administer the SAT exam. They oversee AP exams for high schools. And so you can count on them as being credible and accepted by colleges nationwide. Actually, the CLEP test has been around for more than 50 years. I am more than 50 years old myself, and I took CLEP tests to get out of college classes when I entered college in 1980. So I can swear by it. I know this works, and I know that you do get credit for the tests that you take. CLEP offers 33 exams in 5 subject areas, and they cover material taught in courses that you probably already took in high school. And these are the ones that are offered generally in the first 2 years of college. There are 2,900 colleges that accept CLEP credit. So there are only 3,200 colleges in America. So you can see that this is like 90% of them or more that take it. And furthermore, 176,000 students take CLEP tests per year. Wow. Why wouldn't you do it? Here are some of these are actually all of the CLEP tests, and I hope you can pause this because I'm just scrolling through all of them. But there are a lot of CLEP tests, and they're generally the first 2 years of your class and your credit that you would take. Next, let's talk about DSST. It's often used in conjunction with CLEP tests, and it offers upper level credits. There are more upper level credits that you can take with the DSST exams. And there are more than 30 exams, just like the CLEP. And 1,900 colleges accept DSST. I'll bet you, wherever you're going, will accept DSST in some form or fashion. And these were created initially for military to accelerate their education based on all the courses they were taking while they were in the military. And here's an opportunity. only 13,000 students a year take DSST tests, and they're accepted at 1,900 plus colleges around the U.S. You should be looking into how you can take advantage of a DSST test to get your college credit. And here we go, just like for CLEP. Here is your scroll of all of the wonderful courses you can take and get credit for in your DSST format. I've skipped Excelsior credit by examination because you can go to their site and get many great examples of courses and tests. Just go to excelsior.com and look up Excelsior credit by examination. But here we go for prior learning assessments. Prior learning assessments are a large umbrella that include CLEP and DSST and Excelsior ECE. However, many colleges look at it as a PLA. What is their prior learning assessment? And you can get credit for workforce training, for military training, as well as for other certifications you may get in your job and exams you've had to take as part of your job. And what you need to think about is your portfolio. And many colleges will give you guidance on how to create a portfolio to make your work as credible as possible and as presentable as possible, so that you can get a good get kind of all the credit you need for something you've already done. So we encourage you to explore these. CLEP, College Level Examination Program, Dante's, the subject standard, the DSST, Dante's Subject Standardized Test, the Excelsior Credit by Examination, and of course prior learning